Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here. Today, we're answering your questions. You guys have been writing into our YouTube channel and Instagram page, and so today we're answering Luke D. Your question is, how much stress is there being in the major leagues? All right, so let's get into that. But before we do, if you're a high school baseball player, I highly suggest you check out Impact Baseball's College Coach Showcase Camp. If you want to play college baseball, you're not going to want to miss this camp. January 25th in Boston, North Carolina, there's going to be over 25 colleges represented at this camp. Players are going to receive instruction. You're going to be able to listen to college coaches speak about college baseball. You'll go through an extended workout, batting practice. Pitchers will be able to throw bullpens, and the facilities are amazing. You'll have a turf field and also a large indoor facility if it's needed. So make sure you can go in the description box below. There's a link to the camp for more information and to sign up. And there's also another link that contains a video from past camps. So make sure to check that out and sign up today. Okay, so stress in the major leagues. First, I definitely think it depends on a few things. It depends on the player, and I think it depends on how well you're doing. If you're not doing well, then there's going to be a whole lot more stress on you than if you are doing well, for most cases. I also do think certain players handle the stress better. Some players are really stress-free. They're carefree. And even if they're not doing as well, some players deal with it super well. There's other players that, there might be some players that are doing well but still feel really stressed out, and I've seen that happen before. But let me just talk about me personally and what it feels like to play in the major leagues. First, let's start with this. The major leagues are different from any other level of baseball you've ever played in. The minor leagues, college, doesn't matter. It's a totally different animal. More people are watching you play. More attention is being given to every little thing that you're doing. Way more than, again, any level you've ever played at. So even if you play in a big college program, right, you're not playing in front of 40,000 people watching you play. You're not playing, if you are playing on TV, you're probably not playing in front of as many people. There's not as big of a fan base. If you're playing on national TV, then obviously that's something totally different also. Now, there are a few exceptions, right? You play in college baseball, you play in the College World Series. Some of those games are getting a lot of publicity and a lot of people are watching. But you're never going to get it on it as a consistent basis as you are at the major league level, okay? So a lot of attention. Every little thing that you do typically gets scrutinized by someone, especially in today's game. Now, I'm actually happy that I didn't play in today's game versus when I played. I mean, it was easier to play back when I played. Social media today, the access that most people have to you. When I was playing, there was Twitter. I actually was on Twitter, but I don't really remember having to deal with any hecklers, anyone on Twitter, anyone on social media giving me crap for when I wasn't doing well. Nowadays, that's all you see. I'll go to players' Twitter feeds and their Instagrams, and they get there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people that can get access to you and get all over you if you're not playing well. So I think that is definitely, especially in today's game, the stress level can be really, really high with the access that people have. And so when I was playing, I've told this story once before, but every time I did something as a player that wasn't very good at the major league level, I heard about it. You either hear it from the fans at the game screaming at you, or you hear it from your friends, from your family. What happened last night in the game? How did you strike out these times? How did you not get that hit? I've talked about how when I made a big error against the Milwaukee Brewers, I threw a ball over the catcher's head. I went home that night, or not home, I went back to the hotel that night, and I'm flipping through the channels and I put on ESPN, and very quickly it says, here's the Brewers-Padres game, and we're in the whatever inning, and I see Prince Fielder hitting it down the line, and I'm searching for the remote because I want to turn it off before I have to witness myself throwing the ball, 40 feet over the catcher's head. And so that's the stuff you're going to deal with, again, whether it's from friends or family, or maybe, again, not so much for me, but in social media, listening to people, to fans that are going to be on you for not playing well. So there is a lot of stress, with regard to all that, with all the noise. And some players ignore the noise better than other players. I think it depends on, one, how you're playing. I think it depends on, two, your personality. I think it depends on, have you been in the big leagues a lot? Do you have the experience with this? Or do you not? Are you a new player? Are you new to the big leagues? Are you trying to establish yourself? So for me as a player, I was a young player. I just got called up. I hadn't had a very solid season. And I'm trying to establish myself as a major league player. But two, things aren't going well, and I've got to figure it out, or else I might get sent down and never play in the big leagues again. And this actually is what happened to me. I got sent down and never got a chance to get back up to the major leagues again. So you've got to think about it from a stress level. For all of my life, and this is for probably any player, my goal was always to play in the major leagues and play for a long time, right? That's my goal. I put everything I had towards reaching that goal for a long time, through high school, through college, through the minor leagues. You're talking about probably almost 10 years dedicated to baseball, to the game of baseball, making a lot of sacrifices to be able to be the best player that I could possibly be and reach a level of play that is for a baseball player, an uncommon level, right? There's not very many people that can make it to the major leagues. And so you put all of this work towards getting to this level. You sacrifice, you dedicate yourself. And to not be playing well, when I was in the major leagues and I wasn't playing up to my standards or what I thought my potential was, that can be very stressful. Knowing that if you keep it up, you're going to go down and you might never get a chance to play at this level again. And so that is without a doubt stressful. This is real life. This is your occupation, your well-being, your livelihood is all at stake. And so I think sometimes when people think about, when this comment was made, there was a couple people that already kind of commented under it or on it. And sometimes I think people think about, well, if you're a big league player and you're a solid player that has already established themselves, then yeah, the stress might be a little bit less because you're there and you've already established yourself in the big leagues. But there's so many players that just come up, go down, and are never heard from again. There's so many players that are coming up, and if they don't get it right, they get one shot. If they don't get it right, they're gone. That can be very stressful. The other thing that added to my stress level personally is not only was I making my major league debut and I was trying to establish myself, and I've talked about this once before, but they were trying to make some changes to my swing. And so I was trying to play at the major league level while also trying to learn a new swing. And without getting into exactly all that, I made a video on it, a couple videos on it. They were trying to essentially give me a different stride. They wanted me to put my feet closer together. They wanted me to have a bigger leg lift, a bigger stride, things that I had never done before. And so having to try to do that at the major league level while trying to be successful at the same time was very difficult for me and was adding a lot of stress. And, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm screwing this up. I'm trying to learn how to hit a new way, and I'm having a hard time being successful at this. And this is ruining my career. So I actually had conversations with our coaches about this, and they said, don't worry about it. Just buy into it. Don't worry about your statistics. even if you don't hit well, don't worry, this is for the long run. And unfortunately, it didn't work out because there was no long run, and I never got a chance to get back up there. But all of those things added to my stress level. And I don't know, I guess stress is a good word for it. But it just adds something to you, a weight to you that can be difficult when you get to that level. So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of insight into what it's like to play at the major league level. Again, this question is tough because every player is different. Every player's situation is different. Hopefully I gave you insight into what mine is like. And I think my situation is probably more common than the big leaguer that plays 10, 15 years in the big leagues. Like there's only a certain amount of those, but I feel like there's far more players that come up. There's so many of them that you've probably never even heard of before. Like most people have no idea about my story and what I went through as a player. And I would say I'm in the majority of players that come up, get a cup of coffee, get a shot to make it, don't make it, and they're gone forever. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Thank you for the question. Thank you for making me relive some of those memories. Makes me want to cry. I'm just kidding. Subscribe to the channel, share the video with all your friends, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you later.